Good morning and happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Elite Weather. I am Mr. G, your meteorologist, with the weather forecast for you guys today. Hope you guys are having a good morning, and I hope you had a good Valentine's Day yesterday. Now let's talk about your weather forecast for today and the remainder of the work week, and get you through the weekend and up to your President's Day. We're going to be talking about what to expect as far as the weather is concerned. And we are looking at our city of the day, which is Chicago. There in the background behind me, you're seeing the city of Chicago, a beautiful city. Yes, they are having those winds. You can see the camera. I think it's kind of jerky a little bit because of those winds blowing across, following behind that Alberta Clipper that zipped through last night, dropped some snow across the Midwest, and it's currently making its way through Michigan right now and into parts of the Northeast. Is just beginning to affect upstate New York and probably western Pennsylvania as well. So it's just beginning to cross over Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. So it's coming out of Michigan. So we're going to be seeing that snow and even some rain down on the southern end of that system begin to make its way into the Northeast. And later today, we're going to be seeing some of that snow affect the New England area, and some of the big cities in the Northeast as well could pick up some rain and snow as well from that departing Alberta Clipper. So let's go and take a look at the radars across the country. Take a look at some of our trouble spots as we go on a tour across America. Okay, so now we're going to take a tour of the country right now. Look at all the different areas that is expecting some less than pleasant weather at this time. And we're going to start off with the Great Lakes and the Northeast. We're going to take a quick look at what's going on over there. So we're going to zoom in on the Northeast and the Great Lakes and take a look at the effects of the Alberta Clipper as it's making its way toward the Northeast. Okay, so here is our Alberta Clipper as it's making its way across the Great Lakes and over Michigan. We're seeing it exit stage right over eastern Michigan, and we're seeing that snow in and around the Detroit area, which is right about here. And that snow is also affecting Ontario, so Toronto. There is Lake Ontario, Lake Erie is here, and we're seeing that snow exit out of Michigan into Ontario, and you're also starting to see some snow here across parts of upstate New York near Syracuse. So in just about an hour or so, the folks in Syracuse are going to start to see some of that snow as well. We're also going to be seeing some snow showers down across southwestern portions of upstate New York and Michigan. I mean, not Michigan, but Pennsylvania. So Pittsburgh is going to be seeing some of that snow as well, and maybe even some rain and snow mix down towards Pittsburgh. But we're going to be probably seeing some snow over in the Buffalo area as well as that Alberta Clipper trucks on toward the east there. So now let's glide out to the west coast and take a look at our storm from the atmospheric river and what it's doing across the Pacific Northwest and across the Cascade Mountain Range. Okay, so now here we are on the west coast where we have our storm system. Remember yesterday, and I showed you that storm off the coast. Now it's two parts to the storm. We have a northern stream to the storm, and then there's a southern stream over California that's going to be spreading rain from maybe Portland and down through California. But this end of the storm, we're seeing that rain here across western Washington. Seattle is right about there. There's the Seattle area. So we're seeing that rain, and we're seeing snow across the Cascades. Nice rain and snow mix down in the valleys or in the foothills of the Cascades down through Everett and Olympia. So we're seeing some rain and snow across the Seattle area. Puget Sound is here. There's Puget Sound. So we're seeing that rain across Puget Sound. And we also are Elliott Bay here. We're seeing that rain, and we're seeing snow in the mountains there. We have a a high risk of seeing at least 4 inches of snow today across. That's what these dark blue symbols are. It's your risk of seeing 4 inches or more or snow in the mountains, and we're going to see a moderate to high risk of seeing at least 4 inches in the Cascade Mountain Range this afternoon and this evening. So let's go down further to the south and take a look at what's going on in the Oregon area. Okay, so now we are down around the Portland area where we're seeing some scattered showers right now, just mainly south of town. So just between Portland and maybe Salem, we're seeing those rain showers passing through right now, and that is translating to snow up in the mountains as we have the Cascade Range just to the east of Portland there. So scattered showers is in your forecast for this afternoon. We're going to see those showers increase in coverage as well as intensity as the day progresses, and we're going to also see that heavy snow up in the mountains. So now let's go down further south into California and check out what's going on there. So now we're down in Northern California where we're looking at that rainfall coming into like Crescent City and Eureka and Redwood Falls, Redwood, California, and we're seeing that rain along the coast, snow up in the mountains. There's Lassen Volcanic right there in Mount Shasta. So we're seeing that rain also, again, rain down in the coastal plain of the coastal valleys. There's mountain ranges along the northwestern coast. So down in the valleys there, we're seeing that rainfall there for Crescent City and Eureka, but we're seeing snow up above 5,000 feet in the mountains in the higher elevations where we're going to pick up maybe at least a foot of snow just today alone. So again, that wintry weather, our atmospheric river is sending more and more waves of precipitation into California, where we are under a flood watch and a flood advisory here across northwestern California, and that's going to probably be in effect through the weekend and into the holiday Monday. So now let's go down to the Bay Area and into Southern California and take a look at the effects of the atmospheric river in those regions. So right now, things are fairly quiet down in the south. So in Southern California, Central California, which also includes the Bay Area, mostly quiet right now. We do have a patch of showers that's moving across the Central Valley and into the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. That's going to be bringing some snow, maybe into Truckee. Throughout the day today, we're going to see those scattered snow showers and rain showers. But again, precipitation will increase in the northern part of California later today and tonight. And we're going to definitely see that frontal boundary drop down. You can see this front right here. We're going to see this front. Now this front's fairly quiet. We do have a few sprinkles or light showers down here in the Channel Islands off the coast of Santa Barbara. So there are a few showers. So a few sprinkles and showers or light precipitation off the coast right now. But any much more significant precipitation is currently over the southern Rockies of Utah, northern Arizona. We're seeing some snow showers over that way. But we are also looking at other components to this system, or these systems, because we got at least two storm systems. We got one here in the south, one in the north, and then one still off the coast, poised to come through, and that will bring some significant rainfall to Southern California through the weekend, Monday, and into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So we have a good 5 to 7 inches of rain that we're going to pick up just through the weekend here in Southern California. But let's go over the Rockies and into the high plains where we could take and look at another piece of energy that's going to be bringing some snow into the plains and snow across the Rockies. So now we're taking a look at the central part of the country. We're talking about the Rockies and the plains, where we have some snow moving across the high plains, the western plains, coming across the Dakotas and Nebraska. Right now we're going to be seeing that snow, and that snow is going to kind of go east-south, east-southeast, and that's going to slide over Iowa. We're going to see this winter weather advisory posted for those areas, as well as that area of snow makes its way across the central plains, and we're going to be seeing those snow showers across the Rockies throughout the day, the northern Rockies over Idaho and into Montana, Wyoming, northern Utah, and down through Colorado as well. And we're also going to see some spotty snow showers down through New Mexico down here. We're going to see, not New Mexico, but down through Colorado. So Vail, Colorado, Aspen, Fort Collins, and as well as maybe the Denver area might pick up some showers, and even down through Durango and Pueblo. We're going to be seeing some snow showers as part of this overall area of energy that's moving across the Rockies, and that's going to move out into the plains and develop into our next potential East Coast storm system. So we're going to keep monitoring the situation, keep track. I'm going to keep you up to date on what to expect with that winter weather. And we're also going to be seeing a nice cool down across the northern plains and the upper Midwest as well. So temperatures are much colder today than they were over the last previous days, where we saw those temperatures in the 30s and 40s. But we're going to get at least a good 2 days, at least 2, maybe 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We're going to see those temperatures below average for a time. We've been mostly above average here across the Midwest for most of the winter. There's not too many times this winter that I can say that we were below average. We're finally going to be below average for at least 2 days. But by Saturday, we're going to see those highs start to climb back through the 30s. And then by Monday, we're going to be back in the 40s. The snow that we've received overnight is going to probably melt away. So that's going to be, you're not going to remember it by the time we get to the middle part of next week. Most of the snow that fell last night will have melted away. So now let's take a look at our maps and talk about our weather forecast for the remainder of the week, this weekend, and next week. So it's time to take a look at that weather forecast that we are going to be seeing for the remainder of the week and the weekend, and your Monday, President's Day, and the week ahead next week. And if you are joining me, thank you for watching me on TikTok and YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, remember, you can always subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on TikTok, please leave a follow, leave your likes, your comments. I appreciate the support that we're getting here on the channel, and thank you for that. And I will continue to support you all with these weather forecasts, and I will try to be as entertaining and forthcoming as I possibly can. Any questions, please feel free to leave it in the chat. And oh, just another channel work here. If I don't necessarily mention your area in the forecast, that must mean that your weather is fine and you don't have to worry about, and you don't really have to say, hey, what the weather is going to be like in your specific location. Because if you are having active weather or interesting weather, I'm going to specifically point it out to let you know that you're going to have interesting weather heading in your direction, okay? So there's no need to ask, oh, what's the weather like in this place or that place? Because if you're not having any substantial weather, most likely we're not going to really talk about it. It will be included in the general forecast, but it won't be pointed out specifically, okay? Now, if you would like a video specific to your location, please ask in the comments or leave me a request, and I can make a video for your city and give you a city forecast for your region, okay? But we are going to move on now and talk about those maps. Take a look at the snowfall that we received in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area last night or yesterday evening. And because we haven't had any significant snowfall since December, we've had about 4.4 inches of snow on the ground until last night, where we picked up anywhere from a general 4 to 6 inches. As you can see some of these different locations here, you can see the map and what they actually say. These blue dots are actually snowfall amounts, and we generally picked up anywhere from 4 to about 6 inches If it's a yellow dot, it was in exceeding 6 inches, but I don't see any that hit 7. And this is provided by the National Weather Service. And so, generally here in town, 4 to 6 inches of snow. So we can add another maybe 5 inches for the most part. Most of these are about 5 or so. So we're probably going to say we're getting closer to having 10 inches of snow for the winter. But I'm happy to report that most of the snow is going to probably melt by the time we get to the middle of the week next week. Probably by next Wednesday, all if not most of the snow will have melted away because the temperatures will approach 50 again by the time we get to midweek next week. So a short-lived winter for us here in the Twin Cities. So we basically just got a taste of winter and a reminder that it is still winter. And our above average winter will continue despite the fact that we got a little bit of snow. But the longer range forecast doesn't show any more significant precipitation within the next 10 days here in the upper Midwest and in Minnesota. So we're going to our below average streak will continue even though we picked up a decent amount of snow yesterday evening and last night. Most of it was started about, let's see, my wife got home from school about 5 o'clock and the snow had just began. And it was probably done by about midnight. The snow ended here in the Twin Cities. So a good 6 hours of snowfall pretty much last night. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So here is the snow still to come. We're going to see most of this snow has, now mind you, most of the snow to this point has ended over Wisconsin, Minnesota, and we're still seeing more snow coming into the Dakotas right now. And we're going to still see that possibly that 3 to 5 inches here in the light blue. We're going to see 1 to 3 inches across central and southern Wisconsin. An inch or less here over far southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and we're going to be seeing that snow. Now, as it makes its way into the northeast, we're going to see that 3 to 5 inches of snow, like around the Buffalo area. Detroit is going to pick up 1 to 3, and when Watertown, we're going to see that potential there for 8 to 12. So we'll see higher snowfall rates there in upstate New York. There we're going to see where in the mountains, so we can see a little bit higher snowfall amounts in those areas. But general, we're looking at up to about 3 inches of snow over the northeast in New England, and along the 95 corridor, we're going to see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow from this fast-moving Alberta Clipper. This is actually a pretty hefty Alberta Clipper. They don't typically drop that much snow here. We usually see about an inch or so, but this snow is very low moisture content, so it's very it was very powdery snow, and we picked up a good 5 or 6 inches of it. So here is our winter weather advisories alerts. I would say we could take this one off. The snow is stopped over Minnesota. The winter storm warning is also over, but we're going to see that snow down across. We have a new winter weather advisory that is currently going here across southern Nebraska, coming out of the Dakotas, and that is going to be coming across Iowa. So we have a new winter weather advisory coming into western Iowa. We still have winter weather advisories over eastern Wisconsin and over Michigan now. We have a winter weather advisory and winter storm watch in effect over parts of upstate New York as well. Here is your weather forecast for today across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. It's going to be warm enough for rain across the Ohio Valley, so Indiana, Ohio, parts of western and southwestern and south central Pennsylvania will see rain, but we're going to see snow over central Pennsylvania. So Pittsburgh and in those areas, we're going to see snow, but we're going to also see some snow over near the Scranton area as well. every time I hear the word Scranton, it just reminds me of that movie Unstoppable with Denzel Washington and the 777, the runaway train, Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's where I think part of that movie was filmed over that way. So every time I hear Scranton, that movie comes to my mind because I love Denzel and I like that movie and I love trains. So hey, there we go. I'm a nerd. All right, can't do it. So, and we're also going to see some rain down across Pennsylvania through the Appalachian Mountain Range, not Pennsylvania, but West Virginia, excuse me. All right, so our future radar, we're going to see that rain and snow, and that is going to continue through 12 o'clock a.m. on Saturday. So Friday night through Saturday, early morning Saturday, we're going to still see some rain here across the mid-Atlantic. So Virginia, over to parts of western North Carolina, and we're going to see that rain change over to snow, and some of that snow can be kind of heavy, and that's going to be a second system that's coming out into the plains now. Not the system we're dealing now. That system will move on out, but this is a second system, the one that's currently coming into the South Dakota and Iowa. That system will be this system when we get to Saturday. So by Saturday, that new system coming out of the plains will move out here, and we're going to see heavy snow across the DC and rain down across southern Virginia and North Carolina, and we're going to see snow through western Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and we're going to see some snow through West Virginia as well, and northern Virginia. We're going to see snow. So Roanoke, places like that, and we're going to see some snow. Norfolk, we're going to see some rain for you folks, okay? All right, so tonight, let's talk about tonight now. So we're going to have some snow in the Northeast still tonight, but I think our current system is going to affect mostly areas northward, so New York northward to Maine, so Portland, Boston, New York. Going to see some snow showers today and tonight. See some snow showers from this Alberta Clipper as it makes its way to the Northeast. So light to moderate snow tonight. Going to pick up maybe 3 inches of snow across the Northeast, and we're going to see some snow also across maybe Pittsburgh and Erie, Pennsylvania, and Buffalo. And we're going to see some snow up in Syracuse, parts of upstate New York, and up through Burlington, Vermont. And New Hampshire, we're going to see some snow in Portland and in Maine as well. Okay, so Saturday, our second system that's moving out of the plains now, our second weather system, our weak to moderately strong weather system is going to bring some snow across the Great Lakes and into the Northeast once again over the weekend. So you're going to get a third shot of snow this week. So we're going to see some snow from Kentucky, maybe Tennessee, West Virginia. We're going to see some snow over Virginia. And that snow is also going to affect Washington, D.C., New Jersey, up to New York. And Boston, you're not going to get any from this round. You might get a little bit, but you got kind of shafted by that big nor'easter because the changes in the pattern affected the snow. So the nor'easter got shunted to the south a little bit further. So New York actually ended up with more snow, and Boston got a lot less than what was originally forecasted because it was basically a double barrel system, and there was a northern stream, a northern tier, a low, and there was also a coastal low down to the south. And the ideal situation was for those two systems basically to merge and become a bomb cyclone. But that did not happen. The northern stream low, the primary low coming out of the Midwest, was shunted to the north, and that got shot to the north, and the southern stream stayed mostly out to sea. It didn't come. They didn't fuse or they didn't merge together. So the precipitation stayed mostly to the south because the southern low was kind of shoved a little bit further away from the coast, so that snow didn't hit Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. It was mostly Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, maybe Delaware, and areas points to the south a little bit. And it had a fairly narrow band of heavy snow. The band of heavy snow, what we call the deformation band, was fairly narrow as well. So the precipitation shield wasn't that large to begin with. It was a pretty compact system. So as it raced on the way, Boston got the shaft, which I'm sure they're not complaining about. You don't have to deal with that, because my sister-in-law lives in Boston, and she's a real estate broker, and she can't make no money if they can't go out, and she can't go and show houses or do whatever she has to do. She got to stay home. Well, I guess you can work from home, but you can't show a house from home. So, all right. But anyway, again, so more snow expected across a good portion of the Northeast as we head into Saturday, right? All right, so here we are as we take a look at the satellite of our atmospheric river storms here. So here's the current storm that's affecting the U.S. Going through California. There's the front dropping down. You can see that frontal boundary as it drops down through California, and you can see that area of low pressure right there. And then we have our next storm system. Now this storm is the big boy, and that storm is going to cause probably another 5 inches of rain or so down through the LA, Orange County. We could see as much as maybe 10 inches of rain through the valleys and the foothills of the Southern California mountains. Pick up several feet of snow again, but that's going to be above 6,000 feet. So we're going to have a lot of snow with that storm, and we're going to have a lot of rain as well. Flash flooding is going to be possible, and maybe even the possibility of some thunderstorms with that system, as that storm system will begin to affect the California area this weekend. So Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday, it's going to take 3 days for that storm system right there to clear the state of California and Oregon before spreading to the east and going to bring severe weather probably across the plains in the south once again. So here we are as we take a look at the live radar across the west coast. Now we're seeing that rainfall here across California. Now a lot of that rain is beginning to dissipate as we have drier air, a little bit of drier air down across the southwest. So that's causing some of this moisture to dissipate, but that it will erode over time, because as that front pushes through, it's going to suppress that high pressure down to the south, and it's going to suppress that high and saturate the column of the atmosphere, so that moisture will reach the ground, or we're going to get more precipitation to fall out of these clouds. The second storm, this storm will help work the atmosphere over to help clear out any dry air for the second storm to come through and dump lots of heavy rain, because they won't have any impediments to doing so. Okay, so here is the weather forecast for the west, and we're going to see this today. See, we have a low pressure area up there near Portland or Oregon, and we have this area of low pressure here across the upper Midwest and the plains, and this is our current system that's going to be bringing our weekend snow to the northeast, and this storm system is also bringing snow across the high plains this afternoon. So we're going to be seeing snow across the Dakotas, Iowa, and Nebraska. And here we are as we take a look at what we're going to see for your Friday. Again, we're going to see more snow across the Rockies all the way to Portland. So snow from Portland and the Cascades across eastern Oregon, Idaho, southern Montana, Wyoming. There's that area of low pressure. We have a cold front here, and that's going to bring snow and rain here across the high plains. So the eastern plains of Wyoming, and that is South Dakota and Kansas. So we got North South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and we're going to see that snow coming into the high plains and eventually into the Midwest, the upper Midwest. Here is your forecast for Saturday. Now, Saturday, we're going to see that rainfall really spread into California. This is our second storm system. Going to eventually begin to spread heavy rain from the northwest, so Redding through the Bay Area, snow through the Cass, through the Sierra Nevada, more heavy snow. But a lot of this rain is going to come onshore in the latter half of the day. Late afternoon and into the evening hours is when we're going to start to see that rain come all the way down into Central California. We're going to start to see some showers into Central California, down from, like, say, San Luis Obispo and Monterey, down towards Point Conception. I don't think the rain will reach the LA area on Saturday, but you will see it on Sunday. And here we are as we take a look at what we're going to see on Sunday on the West Coast. And we're going to be starting to see those rain showers and those clouds coming into, again, along the West Coast again. So Sunday, we're going to get a little bit of a breather for Northern California, but we're going to see some showers here in northwestern California and southern Oregon. But we're going to start to see those first showers of that secondary low in California. So now we're going to see some rain showers start to show up north of Los Angeles on Sunday. So there's Los Angeles, Long Beach. So we're talking about Ventura County and Santa Barbara County. We're going to start to see light rain on Sunday. All right. Monday, here we go. So now we're starting to get the big boys starting to come through. You can see that low pressure center over my head. That's going to kind of drop down the coastline. That's going to slide south down the coast. It's going to spin off the coast for a day or two. We're going to see it sit and spin, but we're going to see that front come through, and that's going to bring that heavy rain into Southern California. So we're going to see those rain showers on Monday with a temperature of 58 degrees in LA, but we're going to see Mammoth Lake pick up snow. We're going to see rain up in San Francisco, rain up in Redding, California, and rain across Bend, Oregon. So you're going to see more heavy rain coming into the West Coast, especially over the weekend, is when we really get to see that punch of that moisture come through. And we're going to see through the 21st, here's the snow forecast across California, where we're going to see as much as 4 to 6 feet of snow across the Sierra Nevada. And again, there's that heavy snow we're going to see across the Sierra Nevadas. But look at the heavy rain along the California coastline as we head through Friday through Sunday. So Friday through Sunday, we're definitely going to see the heavy rain north of San Luis Obispo through Monterey, San Francisco, and up to Fort Bragg. We're going to see the heavy rain, and that's going to lead to the potential for flash flooding as well. And we're going to be picking up anywhere up to 3 inches of rain, and that's Friday through Sunday across Northern California. And we do have a flash flood threat to talk about across California as well, Friday through Sunday. And we're going to see that flash flood threat primarily south of Eureka down towards the San Francisco Bay. We're going to see that flash flood threat. But we have the threat of a flash flood even further south down through Central California. But we're going to see the likelihood of flash flooding there in the areas with the dark green. All right, so we're going to search on Sunday. We're going to see that heavy rain Sunday through Monday. And then to Tuesday, we're going to see that heavy rain threat start to come into California. So we're going to see heavy rain and high elevation snow through Tuesday in Southern California. And that's going to be the potential for 7 inches of rain and about 3 feet of snow in the Southern California mountains. Here is the rain forecast for the West Coast, and this is going to go from the 19th, the 19th through the 22nd, through Tuesday, through Thursday, the 22nd. So through Thursday the 22nd, we're going to be picking up a good 3 to 5 inches of rain down here around Los Angeles. Higher amounts in the foothills and in the Southern California mountains. If it's too warm for snow, but these are the areas that could pick up 12 inches of rain. So a lot of heavy rain is going to continue to fall across the California area, especially as we get through the weekend and early next week is where we're going to see those heavier rainfall amounts as that plume of moisture continues to stream across the Pacific. Okay? Here is your flash flood threat for Sunday and Monday. As you can see, Sunday is kind of our quiet day. Sunday is not a day that we expect a lot of action. There will be some showers across the state, but it's going to be fairly quiet. So we only have the possibility of some flash flooding from the showers across the state on Sunday. The real thing gets started on Monday. So this is the rainfall through the 22nd. Again, you see that heavy rain up and down the state of California. Some areas going to be picking up at least 8 inches of rain. So very heavy rain. That's definitely going to lead to flash flooding issues. Is going to continue. Probably going to see some more dramatic video as we get those strong areas of low pressure and that moisture. It's a lot of moisture to work with. This El Nino has the water temperatures warmer than average. So that leads to an increase in evaporation. So that evaporation is more moisture in the air. So that's more moisture and energy for these storms to work with, which thus intensifies the storm. It also affects high pressure centers and where they set up, how they set up. And so the high pressure center over the Central Pacific right now is setting up the stage to send that plume of moisture across the ocean towards the U.S. mainland. Alright, so we haven't seen much snow. Granted, we picked up a little bit of snow, but we average about 51 inches of snow here in the Twin Cities every year. We barely have 10 at this point. We're still about 90% below average. And that's clearly what this shows, that we are way behind. We don't even have 25% of our average snow. So if you see the browns on this map, these are the areas that are way behind. So they're way behind here and across the Midwest, the upper Midwest, where we get tons of snow, lots of lake effect snow, lots of snow, and it's way behind. The Northeast is way behind. We see areas like across Tennessee. I saw some doozies across Tennessee of snow. So they are almost 200 to 400% above normal for snow across parts of Tennessee. And even in Mississippi, down here, northern Mississippi, look at that blue. That means they are about 200 to 400% above average in snowfall. We're also seeing about 200% above average snowfall across the high plains there, across Kansas. But look at the Rockies, tons of snow. Look at the Sierra Nevada, tons of snow. We had a lot of snow across the West. Lots of snow, especially across the southern Rockies. Look at the southern Rockies. Look at all the snow. Lots of snow. Because a lot of the storms, the El Nino fueled storms, have been making that southerly track. I haven't seen a lot of what we call Colorado lows that come up across the Midwest. A lot of the storms come on shore and they have been immediately diving down to the south. They either come down the California coast or they come on shore like over Oregon or Washington and then drop down across basically drop down across the Rockies to the southern Rockies, to the southern plains. So that area has been getting a lot of rain, picking up a lot of snow. So Arizona has an abundance of snow. right? I bet you if you look at Mount Lemmon around by Tucson and look at the mountains above Flagstaff, very pretty because they've got well above average snowfall. So if you want to ski, go to the west and hit the mountains out west if you want to ski or do any winter activities. But if you're up in the Midwest, nope. And even though you got a little bit of snow, it's just not enough. It's not going to really make a deal. So let's talk about ice. So getting a little dizzy because I ate a little bit of breakfast, but I'm hungry. So I really, before I pass out, so I'm hurry up and wrap this up. So all right, so we don't have much ice on the lakes right now. I'm going to be real about it. You know, we usually get a lot of ice, the frozen lakes, the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes like Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. A lot of the lakes only have less than 25% ice coverage. So less than 25% of the lakes are covered in ice. So we are very, very behind as far as the ice coverage. So if you want to take, or even just the local area lakes, some of the larger lakes here, like Lake Mille Lacs, has very thin ice. And we're going to take a look at our next slide here. And what this shows is the when you can go on ice, how thick the ice needs to be before you can either go on it. So if you want to ice fish, that's a big thing to do here in Minnesota, is to go ice fishing. But since we don't have much ice to deal with, or to work with, deal with, they look forward to the ice. So that's a big thing here. But since you don't have a lot to work with, there's not a whole lot you could do. So if you have less than 2 inches of ice, that's not enough to stand on. So stay off the ice if it's 2 inches or less. But 4 inches about what you need to be walking or ice fishing. So if you just want to stand there, dig you a hole, you need about 4 inches of ice, the thickness, to be able to drill, to stand and not worry about falling through. But if you're going to go on your ATVs or your snowmobile, I would think that the treads on the snowmobile would damage your eyes. So let's say ATV, you need about 5 to 6 inches. A small vehicle like a Prius or whatever, small car, you might want 8 to 12 inches ice for small cars. But if you want to take the F-150, because I like F-150s, onto the ice, you need about 12 to 15 inches, the thickness of the ice, to be able to safely do that. We don't have enough ice to drive a truck on any lake or any vehicle for that matter. So you might get away with walking on a lake, but I wouldn't walk out to the center, but stay around the edges where the ice might be a little bit better, but they're nowhere near. We've been fairly warm. We've been way above it. It just hasn't been cold enough for the ice to freeze. So even though we're going to get a couple of days at most where it's going to be, I would say, cold enough for the ice to freeze, it's just not going to be enough, and it's going to warm back up. So it's going to start to melt pretty quickly. So again, that lack of ice will continue, and if not get worse. So that is your weather forecast. My name is Mr. G. Thanks for watching me today, guys. I'm going to go get something more substantial for breakfast. Leave your likes, comments, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching me. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.